Okay, guys, today we're talking about mail banking and what it's used for. So mail banking is a concept that means you do events on the weekends for items or special bonuses, whatever they're doing, and instead of opening the mail when you receive it for that day or whatever, you just leave it in your mailbox, and if there's items in it, the game shouldn't delete it every patch. So you can keep them in there, as far as I know, indefinitely. So if an event comes around first morning that night when you see the news rolling up saying, oh, there's new items available, like right now, Speed of God or Apocalypse or whatever, you need the Mega Metals and the Energy Cubes, which you can only get from doing the quests or finishing in the top 32 of the individual event or the guild event. So if you know there's an event going on for items you don't want, you can just score in the top 32 and leave them in your bank and then retrieve them as needed. So the morning it happens, you can just open up your super equipment chest and then just open up your mail from previous weeks ago, and voila, you have the required materials. If you do accidentally open them, no big deal. They just get turned into melange. So, yeah, I have obviously banked up quite a few here. And the only downside is that the gold stays there, but gold's not too big of a deal right now. So I just leave it there. And, yeah, it's a pretty useful tip. This also works on taxes if your guild owns capitals and you've gotten zeroed recently and you don't want to absorb your money in from your mail. You can keep it right there and just stay empty and just keep harassing the other team that zeroed you. And you realize real quick how much fun it is to use tier suppression and to clear tiles, because the punishment for losing is healing a few troops, 1 or 2 tier 7, no big deal. So one angry person with enough motivation and an empty arc can really do some damage. And of course, if you do have some troops left behind that you don't want to lose, instead of getting them massacred off your arc, you can just rally up and put them in an 8-hour rally until the time comes, and they'll stay there unless your arc gets hit so hard that you had troops to lose or resources that it breaks your hull. But if your hull is empty, you have no resources to lose and no troops to lose, then you won't get your hull broke. You can just sit right there in your enemy's base and they can attack you 1,000 times. But if you're not giving them anything or losing anything, your hull does not take damage. So just a little tip out there for those guys that got zeroed and want some revenge. You can save all your money in the mailbox and leave the majority of your troops rallied, and then just use a small tier suppression army to punish your opponents. So yeah, we're coming to the end of these small tips and tricks. So if you have any ideas, leave them in the comments or send them over to me, and it would be appreciated. So thanks for playing our game, and please kindly know.